Enjoy world-class radio online. ZFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZFM Stereo and you got it. It's ZFM Stereo Talk.
Honorable Nduna, it is always a pleasure having you on ZFM. Have we seen a corresponding reduction in carnage, in road accidents, since there seems to have been this escalation in the police presence on the roads?
At 5 deaths per day in Zimbabwe, we are far away from the global average of 3 deaths per day. So I would imagine with the type of infrastructure that we've got, we're just making it worse for the motoring public.
The talk that gets you talking. Mondays to Thursdays between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Yes, ZFM Stereo is on YouTube. Search for ZFM Stereo and get all the action.
The platform. Step up and speak out.
You tune into ZFM Stereo, my station, your station, the hottest radio in town. My name is Kwirirayi on an episode of The Platform. Now, of course, we are supposed to give you Ask the MP, but the show will be back next week. And today, as I said, we are giving you The Platform instead. Just before I give you what the topic is for today, just to remind you of some of the frequencies you can listen to us across the nation. Chivu 99.8, Kama TV Wange 105.1, Chimani Mani 91.3, Muntora Shanga 97.6, Nyanga 98.2, Mashingo 96.1, Victoria Falls 106.5, Gweru 104.3, Bulawayo, my hometown 106.7, and we're broadcasting out of Harare where our frequency is 106.4. I will be reminding you of some of those frequencies as we go throughout the program. And of course, follow the conversation on Facebook, facebook.com/ZFM Stereo, on Twitter at ZFM Stereo, on Instagram at ZFM Stereo ZW, and of course to listen to us live over the internet, it's www.zfmstereo.co.zw. Download the TuneIn app, which is available for free, and listen to us, and you can look for ZFM Stereo and get involved in the discussion. So tonight we're focusing on developments in the country's main opposition party, MDC. Party President Morgan Tsvangirai is currently admitted at a South African hospital where he's undergoing cancer of the colon treatment. When he left at the beginning of the year, one of his deputies, engineer Elias Muzuri, was appointed as the acting president. Last week, Mr. Tsvangirai's spokesperson, Luke Tamborinyoka, announced that advocate Nelson Chamisa had assumed the party's presidency, albeit on an acting capacity. Coincidentally, Advocate Chamisa is the MDC's Alliance's acting chairperson. But over the weekend, Mr. Tsvangirai's eldest son, Edwin, and his wife announced that Engineer Muzuri was still in charge of the party. And Engineer Muzuri himself has insisted that he is still in charge of the party. We reached out to Advocate Chamisa and Engineer Muzuri, but both said they could not make it. And when we reached out to Secretary General of the MDCT, Douglas Monzora, who, by the way, was present at a meeting convened by Advocate Chamisa this morning, he said he was in Gweru when we invited him to the show. So tonight, we do not have a guest in the studio, but feel free to send in your messages on all our social media platforms, and you can call in live. Just to remind you of how you can call us, because this is going to be 100% your opinions and as far as what's going on in that particular party. Our call number being 0772 168045, WhatsApp number being 0731 168045, and then on Twitter is at ZFM Stereo, and on Facebook, facebook.com/ZFM Stereo. So just to remind you what is actually happening within the MDCT, who do you believe is in charge? Now, I'm going to read some of the messages because we started off by having this conversation going on our social media platforms. And while we're doing that, I'll be keeping an eye on the call line, and as soon as I get a phone, in fact, I've already got a phone call coming in. Just going to get this phone call in. ZFM Stereo, you're live. Okay, we seem to have lost that number, but it was just flashing just now. As soon as I get a phone call coming in, I will be getting even if I'm in the middle of doing something, I'll be getting your messages coming. I want to get in as many phone calls in so that we can get this conversation going. So, earlier on, we got comedian Carl Johnson said maybe it's the daughter in law or son, because they said no one goes through to the father except through them. We also had, we got a phone call here. You're live on ZFM Stereo. Okay, we seem to have lost that call once again. Is it flashing? Just checking my techie with here. Okay, we're just going to make sure that the phones are working. Please keep trying to call in. We just want to make sure that we can get as many of your phone calls in on the program. 0772 168 Okay, just that. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your contribution? What's your name?
Okay, I'm calling from Masringo. My view of the situation is typical of Zimbabwean politics. People are just hungry for power. They sometimes lack those principles that are expected of leaders, and everyone just wants to be on top. And also, it's a sign of it's typical of us as Zimbabweans when it comes to issues of leadership. Everyone wants to be at the top. They forget to look at the principles which is expected by the mass. And as the biggest opposition, I think what they should do is to go back to their constitution, sit down, mend whatever differences that are there. Of course, it's a democracy. We don't expect anyone to be just appointing a leader. I think they should go to their structures, select who is supposed to lead the party, and by the way, also reminding them that if they believe that Shangri is their leader, why can't they wait? Of course, it's ill, but there are processes which I believe as an organization they have, and they have to follow those processes.
Okay, now looking at it, I just want to ask you a question, and I think you got a very important aspect in as far as I'm concerned. But looking at events that took place, I've got Tawonga Manungo who says that Chamis is the acting president. Changirai appointed him, and Mujure is using Changirai's son to get into position. But having given the background where now you've got both of them fighting, given that sort of scenario, I know you said that the issue you mentioned Nyayakuti, they need to show a certain level of leadership. How would you resolve that now, given that the certain circumstances right now, given where the party is?
Okay, it's very simple. They go back and revise and look at their constitution. I think their constitution will put it straight. Otherwise, as an organization, it should have a constitution that dictates the criteria in which they are going to select someone, either the acting president or also, I think coming back to they've got structures, they've got all the organs that are capable of going and amending those differences. It's always a case of looking at the principles. Of course, generally we are already seeing that there is a power struggle. There is a power struggle, and everyone is using all sorts of tactics. In other words, if the organization is not like a business that they would say, I'll go through Changrai's son as if it's a business for Changrai. If it is an opposition that is owned, that has got followers, then they should go back to the constitution. Does it actually talk about looking at Changrai's son? If otherwise, they are actually losing direction. And that is very bad for Zimbabwean politics.
Okay, so your name was again?
Okay, I'm Diragare from Mashingo.
Thank you very much for getting in touch.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the issue there. What do you think of that contribution? Someone said there needs to be shown leadership and things of that nature, that they should go back to the Constitution. I wonder what the Constitution of the MDC says, and as far as this is concerned. Just reading on 0731 168 045, someone who didn't put his name, please put your name so that I can give you credit for your comment. Says MDC need to go back to their Constitution, but I think Chamisa is the man. I've also got from our messages from earlier on. I'm keeping an eye on calls. I think we've got another call coming in right now. 0772 168 045. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name? Where you calling from, and what's your contribution?
My name is Ivy. I'm calling from Blawayo.
Yes, please go ahead.
Mamel chauvinist. Vatanga, that place should have been near Tokozani Kupe.
Okay, Sakamurukuti. All right, that's another one that has gone into the discussion. Should Thokozani Kupe be the one that is supposed to be in that position, given that she is an elected vice president? I don't know what your contribution is, in as far as that discussion is concerned. I'm going to read a message here from Sir Clemmy. Sir Clemmy says neither of them, in terms of who's supposed to be in power, says they're abusing a gravely sick man who they should leave to rest. National Council should step in and control the party until a new leader is elected. It's evident MT is no longer controlling the party and won't stand in the 2018 election. Muzain Budiriro says, I was expecting MDC to regroup. They're slowly losing my vote by continuing this circus. Just our WhatsApp number being 0731 168 045, and our call-in number, slightly different, is 0772 168 045. As soon as I get a call from you, I'll be going over to it. But to read more of your messages here, says this is from Gabilabonga, says too late for a non-decisive elective Congress, because elections therefore focus on one, electing an independent presidential candidate, and he mentions his options and he says to represent the alliance, and number two, win as many seats as possible, and three, elect a new leader after the elections. On 0731 168 045, I've got someone looking at the calls. As soon as I get a phone call, I've got a phone call. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What is your name and what's your contribution and where you're calling from? Okay, we seem to have lost that one. Just going to just read this. We're going to take a quick break shortly, but I want to get your as many of your calls and your messages in. On a message that's coming in here says, my contribution is MDC needs to return to the Constitution, SAB. The party has been run by Morgan's brains, not the Constitution. That's why it's in that state at the moment. Kwirirayi is now bigger than the Constitution to set a bad precedent. And to say Chamisa is someone else who's becoming bigger than the Constitution again. Just got a phone call coming in here, 0772 168 045. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name, contribution, and where are you calling from?
My name is Maraura.
Maraura, please give us your contribution.
And man around there, they are only too hungry. Why don't they wait if Sangre will recover? Also, one would wait a say from there because they are just wishing for Sangre to be dead. Good is my position. Why are they fighting? If somebody here.
Okay, so it's a very good point. But I mean, the other side of it all, though, is just saying, look, I'm just acting president. Yes,
you are acting, but why don't they sit down and talk? Very educated, they should sit down. Garapasi, Amisa, Muzuri, Thokozani Kupe, then they sit down. Who is going to lead, who is going to do this? Or something. Throughout my election. How are you going to win my vote? Towards my election.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you for calling in.
All right.
Okay, so that's another angle. Could they not have just sat down, had a conversation, and talked about this? I don't know. What do you think? We're going to take a break. It's not so much of a break. There was an audio that I'm going to play for you that is being attributed to Mr. Kwirirayi, saying that he was speaking in that recording, and I want to find out from you if you believe this was Mr. Kwirirayi was speaking. I'm going to play this audio for you here on ZFM Stereo.
Here we go again.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZFM Stereo and you got it.
taura zvamunotaura asi passport hamuiwani nokuti iri pairi haina kupiswa.
Do you know what is a criminal offense?
It's a criminal offense. Tozviziva.
Keep someone's passport is a criminal offense. It's ruled to be passport now. What is the problem?
Yakambuya sei?
Asi yakauya
aiwa zvautaura iwo uri right isuwo tiri right handiti
they are wrong because one of the things is that this passport is a new passport, it's a diplomatic passport, and they want to use it.
isusu tanzi mai mati mimi zvanzi 7 days nadoctor hatichi
aiwa vati vanenge vachiasesa vachiona kuti vanenge vari sei
vachiasesa nditi saka pavane vachiasesa ipapo passport regai igare kwairi kugara muzvinzwa.
I totally object to that. Ndoda kuobjecta kuti atiseko passport ndeyako atiwa kana makudaro makugwinya passport yako hapana munhu akambogwinyirwa passport yako tipei passport yangu ndigare nayo hapana notizari passport yangu asi kana mati makuita zvinhu zvekugwinya ine handichaini
ukairamba wakudzokera unodzokera nei
ndinoti passport yako yakagwinya aiwa nyaya yekuapizana zvisari pasai zvoita vanozozipana zvimwe zvinhu passport ndeyako hapana munhu agande passport yomwe pana
aiwa kana nesu hatinadzo tangofamba
handibudei handibudei
zvaiswa kupi
ndindinayo
sekuru
saka inzwai kana kuine munhu anoda kuzovanamata tochikurumiza tinenge passport haisiyo inonamata passport haina mata ndozvandokudza ipapo passport haina mata
tataura nyaya yekuda mata tataura nyaya yekuti tipei passport yako
hazvizo zvinotadzisa vanhu kunamata nyangwe mukaida
kwemimi chazombonyanya kuti mushingirire kuti munoda passport imi musingagari nepassport muno muchipatara chii
mazaro unogara uchitokezerwa uchitokezerwa document yako
aiwa isusu
So that is a conversation obtained by ZFM Stereo, and when it is alleged that Mr. Kwirirayi was recorded, one in hospital, and asking for his passport and things of that nature. Do you believe that was Mr. Kwirirayi being recorded in that? And what is your opinion on the exchange that has taken place in that? Just to remind you to get in touch with us, this conversation is entirely yours on 0772-168-045. Let's just get this caller in. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name? Where you're calling from? And what's your contribution? Okay, we seem to have lost that one. But earlier on, we had a call that says there was male chauvinism from someone who said, where's Thokozani Kupe in all of this? She's the one supposed to be the acting president at the moment. Remember, amongst all the vice presidents, she is the one who was elected. Why is she being sidelined in all of this? And just to give you a background of this, Engineer Mzuri and Advocate Chamisa were appointed, and the constitutions was later amended to get them into those positions as vice presidents. Just to read more of your messages while we're waiting for your calls to come in. Remember, it's 0772 168 045. We're getting your calls. As soon as I get a call coming in, I will be reading it out. We'll be having a conversation live on radio, and then on WhatsApp is 0731 168 045. Just please don't call on our WhatsApp platform. We're not taking any calls on our WhatsApp platform at all. We'll be just taking those for reading messages. Tawanda from Cape Town says someone needs to lead the MDC. Mr. Changirai is unwell at the moment and can't decide anything. The constitution was clear. Morgan didn't have to say so. It's acting, but constitution would not have done that. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name? Okay, we seem to have lost that call. Please keep trying to call. Our lines are working. Okay, it's working again. 0772 168 045. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What is your call? Where are you calling from, and what's your contribution?
My name is Moses. I'm calling from Rua. I fake
Okay, so that's his contribution. I would like to also know why you believe it is or it isn't Changirai in that, Mr. Changirai rather, in that conversation. Tell me what you think in as far as that is concerned. The numbers are lined. I don't know there's a message that comes. There's an open discussion or you pick pre-arranged numbers. I want to tell you that this conversation is live to anyone who can come through. Please get your calls in through 0772 168. Okay, we've lost that. We want to get as many of your contributions as possible. Please get in touch with us and tell us what you think in as far as what's happening within MDCT. We're going to try this call once again. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your contribution? Where are you calling from? And what's your name?
My name is Regis. I'm calling from White Cliff, Harare.
Yes, what's your contribution?
My feeling is that this is just one of those times when the MDC is down. But I also feel as a radio station, it's very bad to use information on someone who's not feeling well and discuss about it. I don't think it's ethical.
Okay, I do want to ask a question. I understand where you're coming from, but the question also could be in as far as the conversation that's going on different platforms. This is a conversation that everyone in the country is having, and it is something that is important in as far as the conversation, in as far as the country's political landscape is concerned. And given that Mr. Changirai himself brought this information out and said this was the condition that as a public figure he was putting this up for discussion in the public sphere, do you not think that the people, including yourself, should have a right to comment on it? Okay, it's a conversation I think many people would like to have in as far as that's concerned. But thank you for your contribution as far as that is concerned. We've got more messages coming in here. Tafaza Machingura says the people, not Morgan, must choose the president. So that's our constitutionality issues. We've got a message coming. Another phone call. 0772 168 045. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name? What's your contribution? And where are you calling from?
I'm Tawanda from Kingdom.
Okay, Tawanda, please, what's your contribution?
Okay, I'd like to support the guy who just phoned in just now. I don't think it's ethical for you guys to play that video. One, because as Mr. Changirai said, his condition was public for all of us to know. But now I think this is very personal. It's also, we never heard what the conversation was about, the transition, what was being talked to, status or what. But it was public knowledge. We were supposed to know change from the Ashtaro, this side of the story. It was never said. Now it's Changirai. You're publishing not by bed. I think that video, that audio is Mr. Changirai from the voices and everything. That is Mr. Changirai. And the other thing on the MDC, I think Chamisa and Mr. Mzuri. They have to agree. Personally, I feel Chamisa is capable of taking MDC forward. He has got the vibe. If you look at MDC, the likes of BT, the likes of Tenuve, Elmo Jongo, they're in the same level as Chamisa. The vibe with Chamisa is different from that of Mr. Mzuri. Mr. Mzuri, Chamisa is vibrant, he's got energy, and he's the one we are looking for. Yes, the constitution might point to Madam Kupe, but I'm sorry, for MDC, we need someone like Mr. Chamisa to take us forward.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
All right.
Okay, so get in touch with us in as far as this issue is concerned, because I would like to hear your point of view in as far as what's happening within the MDC. In reality, I mean, I think the issues that are within that party are of national importance. We tried to get the actors involved in this instance, as we're talking about Engineer Mzuri as well as Advocate Chamisa, to come in and have the discussion with you, the listener, but unfortunately they were not able to come in, as we would have liked to have them sit in here. So we'd like to know what your opinion, what is actually happening within the MDCT in as far as the drama that's going on there. The number to call us on is 0772 168 045. We're taking your calls 100%, and also a WhatsApp number being 0731 168 045. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name, where you're calling from, and what is your contribution?
I am first of all calling from Blawayo.
Yeah, Kurumasizu.
My issue on the audio, I think it was a personal thing, Changira and his relatives. I think it had no merit in terms of the politics that's happening on the ground. It was a personal conversation. Whoever recorded it, I don't know why you put it on the public sphere, because it's not really adding value.
Okay.
Then on the issues of taxation, who's supposed to be in charge and stuff like that, I think this is a time that the MDC should really sit down and probably go back to their constitution and chart a way forward, because it doesn't order well if you're the main opposition of the country or part of a main coalition and you've got infighting. We've got an election coming, and we really need people to sort themselves out.
Okay, thank you very much for getting in touch with us. But I want to ask one question. Yeah, do you think with so little time before the election, that this can be sorted out? And what is the story? The acting president Thokozani Kupe, how does she fit in your opinion? Or rather, one of the vice presidents who hasn't been appointed.
Yeah, because I think the problem really started when Mr. Changira appointed Chamisa and Mzuri to be vice presidents without actually them being elected. I think it just sort of set a precedent right now where what's happening now is probably part of what happened in history. Because if they'd followed their constitution, it would probably have been Madame Kupe, or they could have gone back to the electorate or the grassroots and sort of did an election and get a proper leader. Because when you know that your leader is sick, I feel it's in the best interest and his health probably to have an interim arrangement where someone is taking over and charting a way forward, because they are part of a coalition. But it seems like decisions are coming from all over. Everyone is claiming to be the leader of it. Yet Changira, the elected leader, is there. And Mrs. Kupe, the elected vice president, is also there.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution.
All right, thank you.
Yes, what is the issue there? What is actually happening? What do you think is the way forward? We're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, I want to take more and more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages. We've still got another 30 minutes in this program, so we've got enough time to fit in as many of your contributions in this gripping discussion and as far as the issues happening within the MDCT.
To all you Twitter heads, connect with ZFM Stereo on twitter.com/ZFM Stereo. /ZFM Stereo. It's ZFM Stereo Talk.
Our business is able to access currency through the formal channels.
Let's take it this way. Until about this time last year, we were running what I call an over-liberalized foreign exchange markets, something that no other country does. Especially in a situation where the hard currency, the US dollars, is the medium of exchange. It's almost like the sole currency, and yet we don't print it.
The talk that gets you talking, Mondays to Thursdays between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m.
Z.
Your hits on one station, ZFM Stereo, my station, your station.
Here we go again.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZFM Stereo and you got it.
The platform. Step up and speak out.
Yes, you tuned into ZFM Stereo, my station, your station. We are talking about what's happening within the MDCT, what is happening within that political party. Just to give you a background of what's happening, when the party president, Morgan Tsvangirai, who is currently in South Africa seeking getting treatment, left the country, he put engineer Elias Mudzuri as his acting president. And then last week, his spokesperson, Luke Tamborinyoka, announced that Advocate Nelson Chamisa had assumed the party's presidency. And now that has changed because Tsvangirai's family is saying that it's different, and Engineer Mzuri is also saying it's different. And right now, I'm going to get another one of your calls, 0772. Okay, we've lost that one. But I want to hear your opinion. What's going on? We reached out to both Advocate Chamisa and Engineer Mzuri, and both say they could not make it. And the Secretary General, Douglas Monzera, who was present at a meeting convened by Advocate Chamisa this morning, said he was in Gweri when we called him to the program. We got a call here, 0772-168-045. You're live on ZFM Stereo. And what's your name, where you're calling from, and what's your contribution? Okay, it seems there might be something up with that particular call. Keep calling us. We've received a couple of calls already. Would like to hear your contribution. What do you think is going on? Who should be the acting president? And what is supposed to be happening? How do you think this should be resolved? 0772-168-045. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name, contribution, and where are you calling from?
My name is Gori. I'm calling from Harare.
Gori, what's your contribution?
Right. I have an issue. Why is it there's always talk when it comes to issues pertaining to the MDC? They're the only ones that come on air. But we've got other issues going on presently. Recently, we had the issue... It's an UPF, but you guys never put it on air. So, guys, please, let's not try and just show the negative elements happening. As much as they are of national issues, the UPF also has issues that are going on. Let's be balanced. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. Okay. In as far as this conversation is concerned, please get in touch with us on 0772-168-045 and our WhatsApp number being 0731-168-045. What do you think is going on in as far as this is concerned? What do you believe in as far as the leadership of the particular party, MDCT, is concerned? We try as much as possible to get as many of our contributions concerned on this particular topic today. Just looking at some other messages here. I've got a message. I'm reading some of your messages. I've got so many of your messages are rolling in at the same time. A lot of the messages, I think, are saying that they're supposed to go back to the Constitution. As of myself, I don't trust Chamisa. A few days ago, you told us at a rally that Trump had promised him, I think that this infamous rally, $15 billion. And so that's in as far as just reading some of that promise. If he wins the election this year, little did he know that is from his head. Now he's telling us that he was was appointed by Kwirirayi, taking over as the party vice president. Get in touch with us and tell us what you think of what is happening in that particular party. Who is in charge? Who should be the acting president? Just going to read more messages here. Some of them I think are said in jest. It says, someone says Cooper should be acting as president. A democratic movement, so democracy should prevail and be preserved. That is Jassy 85. He says, what do you expect? A lawyer who caused thousands to lose jobs now claims to lead a worker-based police, or rather party. And then we've also got, I'm going to read some here, says, Lily comes and says, Winky Sankuti Zirimdanga kana zatungana musapindire hapana anoda kunzi mure Iribur, Mudzuri and Chamisa focused on getting palliative care for the leader. This is not the time for in-house fighting. They're behaving like little kids. In the meantime, the other party is gaining momentum. Just looking at some of the messages here. Just scrolling down here, looking at 0772168045. Please call us in and tell us what your opinion on what's happening within the MDCT. Just Gwenzi, get this call 0772168045. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name, contribution, and where you're calling from? Okay, we seem to have lost that call. Please keep trying to call back. Tell us give us your opinion on what is happening within that political party. We've got a message here from Gwenzi, says, who exactly is fighting who here in MDC, or is it just another conflicting flow of information from the center of leadership? That's another question. What is the correct information? 0772168045. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name, contribution, and where you're calling from?
Hello, Ndonzi Simbarashe Madon.
Yes, Simbarashe, contribution yangu
contribution yangu iri pakuti tine constitution iriko ku MDC inenge ichifanira kuti ni vakupe vave vice president vave acting president, but at the same time munhu anodiwa nevanhu this time yatave kuti vanhu vaudonda ma-election ndiye Chamisa wacho. MDC at this moment handifunge kuti ine mari yekuti vaite conference yekuti vanoenda vomba vaita ma-election futi. Therefore chikutoshanda ichocho ndechekuappointana because mari yacho iyoyo handifunge kuti mari dzose dzacho aripo. But kana vana Mudzuri nana Kupe vachikeya zvakanyanya more about the elections and they winning the elections, I think they should also, like most Zimbabweans who support MDC, they should also put their hope muna Chamisa, because Chamisa ndiye anosounda zvinozikanwa nevanhu. Ndomufungiro wangu iri nyaya yechirekodhingi ichi. Ndinoda kungotaura kuti it's not very wise. I think maZimbabweans tanyanyisa sere kuti chese chabuda pasocial media tinochitora tomhanya nacho sechokwadi. I think chinhu chabuda pasocial media chinofanira kutorwa with a pinch of salt. It's not wise to take everything you hear, because there are people vasina zvekuita izvo zvakagara ari kugadzira zvimavidhiyo, akagara ari kugadzira zvimasound, akagara ari kunyora nezani. Tine mavoice atakanzwa akawanda evanhu, even president, former president, vachinzi ndo vari kutaura, vasiri vari kutaura. So I cannot dispute with this video kana this audio ndechokwadi rikadai, but I think people should be very careful with what they find on social media.
Okay, I want to ask something also, though, based on something that you said. I think you said some very critical information. Could you kind of point away easy, because in terms of constitutionality, because that's you might end up with a situation, a constitutional crisis. Mukuti, we are more popular, we are less popular. How would you go around that issue?
And then actually best, because when all is said and done, the party one wants to win the election. Sangachiri best if all things were there, my resources angaripo, kwangu kuenda ku Congress, voita futi ma-elections, I'm sure Chamisa was going to win those elections. And then vanga vachizopinda murace yepresidency panouya ma-elections vaine a better horse. Right now, Kupe is not the best horse. Mudzuri is not the best horse to put on the race. Chamisa is their best shot. I think President Tsvangirai right now, we should cancel who is going to be a horse Tsangechirana race. I think that's why Chamisa are kuramba achita ma campaigning. They cannot wait to see can a president was poor, that may not be the case. Though it is hoped by so many people, but that may not be the case. Or one of the poorer start to score my election, then it will be too late. So what I think is right now, constitution yao peka amendwa. Atuzi yamandu kuti yanga yava kuti kudi. Because kana vaka amenda constitution ayamendwa ni munhu wanika. It means zaka amendwa izozo ndo zvatakumhanya nazo nhasi. Bo zvatoamendwa ka. Saka it means constitution yatochinjwa ka. Saka nayatochinjwa taakumhanya nezvachinjwa izvozvo. Because ndo new bumbiro remutemo ratava nazo. Zanu PF vakatombochinjawo bumbiro remutemo vachigadzira green ravo rekupati kwavo vachida kuti vapfekere zvimwe zvinhu. Then you begin to run with a new amended constitution. So we don't know now when they amended, what does it say?
Toba kutenda Zimbarash. Okay, so that's a very interesting thing. Like, what happens now? You've got a more popular, apparently says there's one person who's more popular, but in terms of how it should be a different way. What happens in that kind of situation? Hanza Panamari, and also of other issues that come into place. Vusi Kunene gets in touch with us. It says the situation is within MDC has become chaotic. Okay, just looking at messages here. Unfortunately, it's loading very slowly. Okay, got so many messages that the WhatsApp platform is struggling just a bit. But as soon as it's up again, 0772-168-045. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's your contribution?
My name is Dlamini from Bulawayo.
Dlamini, contribution?
Yes. Larry, I want to ask, what is the relevance of that tape you played to the debate that...
Okay, unfortunately we've lost that call. Dlamini, please call back and let's have the conversation in as far as the country is concerned and also the issues around, specifically around the issues around the MDC. Just going to read a message here. Nyasha from Damo 4 says, I'm just looking at here. The WhatsApp is just hanging here. Got another call, 0772-168-045. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name and what's your contribution?
Hello, this is Ramdes.
Yes, please.
Hello?
Yes.
Isi Chamisa kana Mudzuri. Inyaya yepati. Saka zvinofana kuenda kuconstitution, vanhu voenda kucongress, zvekuti vanhu vanoti Chamisa izvo no kunyepa. Akadyiwa pacongress naMonzora. Anozokwanisa paupresident sei? Munhu akamesa pati 2013.
Okay. Hello? Yeah. Saka.
Hatomborina kana leadership quality. Zvachose.
All right. Saka memi chiti ndiana who should be taking a position?
Congress ndio inofana kudecide. Hazifani kumbotaurwa pamhepo. Inyaya yeCongress.
Anditi ya. Alright, kana pakutaura because ezvino chiri kutaura ndechenyaya yeacting presidency handitika. Saka izvino paka appointwa muri kuti zvofangwa akapointwa neCongress here kana kuti vachangira anogona kuappointawo vice president acting president.
Chamisa ndiye akafurira Tsvangirai nyaya ye1 cent of power yakazoita kuti Tsvangirai appointe vanhu ivavo outside Congress. Saka vanhu vanofana kudzokera kuma-ethics eparty vo-electa a new president. Period.
Okay, tinopa kutenda necontribution yenu.
Thank you.
Yes, get in touch with us on 0772-168-045. We've still got about 15 minutes within the show in which you can get as many of your calls in. Just trying to read messages here. My Enzo in Wesley says the pity near the in-house fighting of MDC. The rate they are going good. I don't see them winning. It's a pity they're fighting for power. Why don't they use their constitution? Your constitution of the MDCT is coming up a lot, and I'm just going to take this call. 0772-168-045. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name, contribution, and where you're calling from?
My name is Mishek Chizo.
Yes, Bishop Chizo, what's your contribution, rather?
My contribution is that Nelson Machamisa is an appointed vice president, whereas Thokozani Kupe was voted into power as the vice president. Nelson Chamisa is still very young. He just has to give power to the old guard, the likes of Muduri, so that he can contest the election. Maybe after 4 or 5 years later, Chamisa will be primed better to contest the national presidency.
Okay, but there's a caller earlier on who said that Chamisa would be the more popular candidate at the moment. What would you say in as far as that concerned?
I don't apply to that because MDC has its own constitution. It requires people to go to Congress. If Chamisa is more popular, he must go to the Congress with Muduri, with Thokozani Kupe. And I also say that people in the MDC, they are now playing the gender card. They must respect Kupe, but now they are alienating her because she's a woman.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break once again, and when we come back, I want to get as many of your calls in before we go off in as far as this particular program is concerned. Just to remind you that it is we are on the platform Ask the MP, which normally is on every Tuesday, is not on this week, but it will be back next week. It's ZFM Stereo, my station, your station, the hottest radio in town.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZFM Stereo and you got it. It's ZFM Stereo Talk.
Can we begin by looking at Zimbabwe's debt clearance plan?
We have since cleared our arrears to the IMF, and right now, clearance of arrears to the African Development Bank and the World Bank is underway. It's work in progress. And I'm confident that we should be able to reach an understanding this year.
The talk that gets you talking. Mondays to Thursdays between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. News, lifestyle, charts, live radio, station highlights, and much more. Get it all on zfmstereo.co.zw.
The platform. Step up and speak up.
We're in the last 13 minutes of the platform, and as I say, just before the break, we are the Ask the MP, which normally is on today, is not on because it will be back next week, and we are having the platform in which we're getting 100% your calls. We're getting all your calls. We're talking about the position of the acting president within the MDC, given the drama that has taken place, particularly in this past week. We're taking your calls on 0772-168-045. You're live on air. You're on ZFM Stereo. What's your name, contribution, and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Bulawayo.
Okay, contribution. Yeah, go ahead.
Why don't they stick to their constitution?
Okay, in the constitution, I see has come up a lot of times. And from what we see, the constitution was amended to allow Chamisa and Mzuri to run as vice presidents. But the question of the matter that we're having here is that confusion at the moment. What do you think is actually happening within the party?
I think they should support whoever is popular with the people.
Okay, so whoever's popular with the people should be the one that gets the position as the acting president.
Yes.
All right, siyabonga. Okay, so that's another contribution talking about who should be in charge. And what do you think has actually happened? Just someone said, just give us a background. What actually happened says, well, earlier this year, engineer Elias Mudzuri was appointed as the acting president. And this week, last week, Luke Tamborinyoka, his spokesperson, said advocate Nelson Chamisa would be the acting president until he came back. And Advocate Chamisa is also the MDC Alliance's acting chairperson. Now, over the weekend, Mr. Tsvangirai's eldest son, Edwin, and his wife announced that Engineer Mudzuri was still in charge of the party. And in a press statement himself, Engineer Mudzuri himself said he himself remained in charge of the party. We reached out to both sides, Advocate Chamisa and Engineer Mudzuri. Both say they would not make it, would not be able to make it, rather. And when we reached out to the Secretary General of the party, Douglas Monzora, who was present at a meeting convened by Chamisa this morning, he said he was in Gweru and would not be able to make it. On 0731 168 045, get in touch with us. That is our WhatsApp number. On our call number 0772 168 045. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name, contribution, and where are you calling from?
I'm Daniel from Shirugwi.
Daniel, what is your contribution?
My contribution is that I think in as far as that audio is concerned, I think as we know the nation, he is sick. He's sick, so I think he's also the one who made that mistake by not respecting the constitution that he made. So I think that is the major problem that is crippling into the to MDC as we speak.
Okay, and in your opinion, what do you think should happen then? Just for record, are you a supporter of the MDCT?
No.
Okay, but what do you think should happen?
I think they should go to Congress so that they will hear the voice of the people rather than maybe having our own opinions of who is more popular in MDC and so forth.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for getting in touch. Yes, on 0772 168 045, we're getting as many calls as we can. We got another one here, 0772 168 045. What's your name, contribution, and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, what is your contribution, what's your name, and where are you calling from?
Don't simba number 4 now for the band. Don't go the question was people keep referring to the constitution. Could amend the constitution in Zimbabwe? Kapeza we amenda. Kana takuzofambira mberi tinorefer to the unamended constitution called the amended one. Kana amenda so that yakuaccommodate my vice president mamwe 2. It means the constitution iyoyo yakuto recognize my vice president iwayo. Then pechipiri kana constitution yavo ichitaura kuti the president kana arwara kana utaita sei can appoint one of the vice presidents to become a president. It means the constitution has been followed. What we need to know is what does their constitution say? Because if people say they should go back to the constitution, if the constitution was amended, it means if they go back to the constitution will be saying Chamisa and Mudzuri, who are appointed, are legitimate vice presidents, together with Kupe, who was elected. So the the amended constitution is now the one at play. We should not be looking at something amended. Mazona man. Don't you number 2. And if unge kuti munhu anonzi Kupe akaappointwa aka electwa kuita vice president on merit. There was a time even Muzanu PF women were being given positions. Isiri nyaya yemerit. Iri nyaya yekuapisa international community nema NGO nema TT nekuda kuratidza world yese kuti tiri kuda kuinclude women muma positions of power. So now pazosvika panyaya yekuti president vakurwara zvekuti zvinogona kuenda nepamwe. Kuri kunzi zvaenda nepamwe ipapo munhu uyo kana anga akaelectwa pachinzi no hatisiwo mumwe munhu mukadzi kuti vanhu vese vagona kuti no tinosapotawo vakadzi. It means asiri the choice person. Yevanhu vacho vakambomuelecta vachida kuapisa the whole world. That's my contribution.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. It's that's an interesting one. The standing constitution being the one that should be referred to. I'm going to be keeping an eye on as many calls as possible. 0772 168 Got another call here. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name, contribution, and where are you calling from? Kuti vane chaunga saka kana zvodero. All right, go ahead. Oh, all right. I think there's a problem in the line here, but I want to ask this question. Hopefully, it can get a little bit clearer. And so, okay, we seem to have lost that call. Just get in touch with us on 0772 168 045. We've still got another 5 minutes until we wrap up the program. 0772 168 045. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name and what's your contribution and where are you calling from?
Richard Drummond. Now we point to corner is now we go to constitution. Now we are focus and now we look to Mraniko. Basarake Niri and Antaraka Changrai. And Antaraka Changrai. Those reports go to Basarake Niri, Antaraka Mira Pat. Gutaka Kafaru Mana announce of Kuasi 18. Asna Garapa, the part was not Jakarta or Toboraniga. We are a committee. This is to quite the record out of this. To contribution young.
Okay, to about 10. 0772 168 045. What do you think is the situation within the MDCT? We've got another call here. You're live on ZFM Stereo. What's your name, contribution, and where are you calling from? Okay, we've lost that call. Just get in touch with us. I want to read Taco from Fempton in Mutare. Says, my contribution, I think Chamis is the right person to be appointed as acting president. He's still young. He's been in the party and close to Morgan. He knows what he should do. Someone says that Chamisa is the right person because he will attract the youth vote. I think what we're talking about, I think the people, we don't want to jump the gun here. We're talking particularly about the acting presidency because as this stands, as far as the as is known and is the truth at the moment, Mr. Changirai is still the leader of the MDC. So we don't want to jump the gun and start talking about who should be running next. And as far as the communication and official communication on any level of the party, the person who will be standing for election when elections take place in about 5 months from now is Morgan Changirai. And what I want to find out from you is about this drama that is taking place within the MDC at the moment. Who exactly is in charge? With one side, the family saying, okay, it's something that's different, and you've got a spokesperson who's supposed to be very close to the president of the MDCT saying something completely different. What we want to find out from you is what do you think is actually is going on. I think we're just looking at here, and I'm looking at a lot of messages here talking about constitutionality. I think we've flogged that horse. Is particularly dead now, and in as far as that particular conversation is concerned. But just reading more messages here from Twitter. Our Twitter handles at ZFM Stereo. Somebody says, okay. Karidza J says Mudzuri is the only one practicing dignity and respect. So Godfrey Kumalo says, what do party statutes say, and professionally, who should be responsible in as far as that is concerned? Looking here, scrolling through more messages on our number being 0772 168 045. Somebody says the family should stay away from the party. that's another message here. Chris Doda says Chamisa is in charge as of today. We're looking at someone talking about here we've got Ronald John McIntosh, who says, I think it is all a bit embarrassing the way the different factions are publicly dealing with this. Two words come to mind: dignity and respect. Yeah, I'm going to see if we can sneak in one more call. No, okay. I would just see. Okay, that flashed a little bit and then stopped flashing. As far as this conversation is concerned, the conversation is carrying on social media. On Twitter, it's at ZFM Stereo. I'm going to sneak in this one last call. Okay. Failed to get that one, but that I'm wrapping it up for today. And as far as this show is concerned, we were talking about what was happening in as far as the MDCT is concerned. Who is the current acting president? Have the conversation on our social media at ZFM Stereo on that's on Twitter. On Facebook is facebook.com/ZFM Stereo. And if you want to listen to the show again, if you're only tuning in and want to hear what other Zimbabweans had to say, and as far as this topic is concerned, this conversation will be available as a podcast tomorrow on our YouTube platform. That is at just look for ZFM Stereo on YouTube. We're going to take a little break just now, and on the other side of the break, I'll be back with a different conversation. We'll be hosting the Zimbabwe Medical Association. We're talking about a very a topic in which came out recently, where the Zimbabwe Medical Association said that they had been approached by certain private schools for HIV tests to be in as far as children in those schools are concerned. We're going to find out what the Zimbabwe Medical Association has to say in as far as that is concerned, the full story behind that particular story. But other than that, you tuned into ZFM Stereo, my station, your station, the hottest radio in town. My name is Larry Kwirirayi.
News, lifestyle, charts, live radio, station highlights, and much more. Get it all on zfmstereo.co.zw.